Hello troglodytes. So quick update. I'm going to be at Open Sauce on the 19th and the 20th, so that'll be cool. And that means that the next video, whatever that may be, will be offset by 1 week because the time when I would be recording something new, I'm going to be at Open Sauce. So, oh well, sorry about that. On to the video. Hello troglodytes, and welcome back to another video. So, in today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at this, sort of. This is another Chromebook. This is a Lenovo Chromebook 11300E second generation AST 2-in-1 4GB 32GB black 1.6 gigahertz. And yeah, I got this because it has a 360-degree hinge on it, and it's also a touchscreen, which means we can take a look at touch-focused operating systems on a hardware platform that will just work for it. So, today, on the GNOME book, we'll talk about that later, we're going to be taking a look at KDE Plasma Mobile. So, let's get into it. Alrighty then, so this is KDE Plasma Mobile. And what this is it's I guess a reimagining of the KDE Plasma, Linux desktop environment, but designed for smartphones and tablets and touch-centric things like this here 2-in-1 Chromebook. And you can do a lot of cool things with it, so I can obviously pin my apps to this home screen here. So down here is like the little, I guess, dock. So I can pin my favorite apps down there, just as you're used to. And then you can obviously pin other apps just to the regular home screen itself, so I can do that. You can create folders, which is pretty cool. You can put these fun little desktop widgets, just like on the regular desktop version of KDE Plasma. But I feel like on a mobile interface like this, they have a lot more utility, because this is more of a single tasking operating system. So if I was in an application, just like on, a tablet or a smartphone or whatever, it'll open up in a full screen interface for the most part. And I can, do things. I can, touch, and I can zoom in, and I can, I have to use 2 fingers for this application, but I can pan around, and you can do all your favorite tablet-y things. And that'll work just fine. And if I want to close out of this application, I can do it multiple ways. So I can go into the app switcher here by tapping this little square icon. So I plug this into my capture, and I have it duplicating the screens. And on right here, you can see there's this app that's open. But over on the capture, it says no applications are running, which is just not true. What if I do that again? That's weird. Okay, so that's something interesting with the KDE Plasma experience. So anyway, I can get to the app switcher right here. Let's say I had a whole bunch of apps open, like I had Cheese open here, and I'm back in this multitasking view. I can swipe between things and, multitask as you would. I can tap on it, I can go back here, I can tap on this one, and so on and so forth. And to quit an application, I can either press this little close all, and then it'll ask me to confirm, and that will quit both the apps. Or I can just swipe up and goodbye, and then that'll quit out of them. If I tap this little KDE button in the middle, that'll take me to the app drawer page where I can search for things. I can, this just shows all the apps on my computer. It would be nice if I could put these into folders, but you can't. Oh, okay. But I can add them to my home screen if I want. So now I have Falcon on here twice, but I guess that doesn't matter. Oh, and then if I tap that, it'll take me back to the first home screen as well. So that's cool. I never actually tried doing multiple pages like that. So that's pretty cool. I can put my little, I don't know, what else do I want down there? Hey Trip app over there. And then that's over there. So I can add apps to my home screen like that by tapping and holding from here and then placing them where I want to place them. Just like, I guess, a regular Android system, I can place them wherever. And of course, if I put an app on top of another app, it'll create a folder. It doesn't auto-name them, it just calls it folder, and then I can name that to be whatever I want. So I want to call this random, I guess, and then I can do that. And then this third button down here it's dynamic, so in this case, it'll close the keyboard. But if I want to quit out of it, I can just prep this. Yeah, I can either go into the multitasking view and swipe up, or I can just tap a little X, and now it is gone. So the keyboard actually works pretty well. It will oftentimes appear when you want it to. It's pretty good. It will open. And the nice thing about this keyboard is that the keys are big. They're big keys. It actually takes the full width of this tablet. So if I were to put it into a portrait layout, then it would be smaller and the keyboard would go away because it crashed. Oh, that's weird over there. Okay, so it doesn't know how to handle external display very well. Yeah, when you rotate it, that will appear, but it's good. It'll auto adapt and it will work pretty well. So anyway, let's bring it back there. See what the capture is going to do. And now that's all all messed up here. It's just oh, there we go. Now it figured itself out. Okay. So anyway, as I was saying, I can go to websites if I want to. So sometimes in certain web browsers it has the .com button, which is cool. The layout's a little bit weird. As you saw, the enter key is down at the bottom. So oftentimes when you're in the keyboard, you would end up pressing like the P key because that's where the delete key usually is. So bit of a weird layout, but you get used to it. It does have some really cool features that we'll talk about in a little bit, but all your typical tablet-y things generally work pretty well here. So like, basic web browsing, I can have a full desktop browser, which is cool. I think most tablets are kind of like this, but there's that. Let's go to KDE Planet. And I can, I can tap around and I can do what I need to do. I can scroll, I can zoom, I can tap on things and it will take me there. Just typical tablet things. As we mentioned before, we have these fun little widgets, so I can do my little notes widget. And you can see sometimes the keyboard has these little auto, like predictive text things, which is pretty good. And if I tap and hold on the space bar, look at that! I can like move the cursor around that way, kind of like on an iPhone. And I can move it back, and isn't that just so nice? Like, I don't have to worry about the arrow keys or trying to like precision tap where I want it and then having weird things keep happening. I can just do it, which is super good. Oh, okay. Oh, how do we? Okay. So copying things is the eternal nemesis of touch-based UI, and that's not great over here. Sometimes, so if I go back into my Kate thing right here, I can just like swipe across, and as you might have noticed before in this keyboard, there were these little buttons up here. So there's the button to like, oh, so it actually works in here. So like go to the front, go to the back, go to the top, bottom of the document, go to the top of the document. Okay, I wasn't done. Keyboard, thank you. And then there's these copy and paste things. So if I select that and I hit copy, it'll replace everything with the letter C because you actually thought that was going to copy it. I wasn't done. Thank you. If I wanted to actually, if I paste it, yeah, that just does that. So yeah, if you thought those were actually gonna copy and paste, excuse me. If you thought those were actually gonna copy and paste things, but they weren't. So because the copy and paste from the keyboard doesn't actually work, you can get rid of the terminal. Thank you. You have to go into the application. So luckily in the Kate application, there's the little copy thing right here, and that'll actually work. So I go there, press enter a couple times, go edit, paste, and that'll actually work. So if I had a link copied, so let's say I wanted to go to like www.google.com, I can go copy this link, take it into my web browser, so I can close out of that since I don't need it anymore. Save those modifications, why not? Go into my web browser. In this case, I want to go into LibreWolf. There's a reason for that. It'll bring up the keyboard. Okay, I don't need the keyboard. In here, well, did that actually even copy? Well, if that actually did copy, I could just tap and hold here and do the I can do the tap and hold, and I can do paste and go. So maybe I can go somewhere else, maybe? Yeah, you see the problem here? This is, like, what do I do? How did I copy that? Do I have to tap and hold? Do I keep spamming on things? I can't copy this link. Maybe there's a settings thing down here. What does that do? That takes me to the thing here. We can maybe try to do this, and now this is working, and now it selected everything. Okay, now I just wanna copy something, then I tap and hold it. Oh, do I tap it? Now I can copy it, but that's LibreWolf doing a thing. So if I actually copy that, did that actually copy? Who knows? Let's close out of that for a second. Go into here. Maybe, or do I want to paste it in my little notes thing? That actually did that. Okay, so you get the problem here? You see the problem here? It's just, yeah. So if I was in an application like WebCord, for instance, and I'm going to intentionally blur this because I don't really need you to see everything here, but you can see it will pop itself up, You know, this is blurred intentionally. Just, you don't need to see the specifics here. But if it was in, you know, a server, hello, yeah, you can see it's constantly popping up and down and 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 up and down as it's trying to figure things out. And if I try to get rid of it, it just keeps popping up and freaking out and having a generally a bad time here, which is not what I wanted it to do. Which it just does that. If I wanted to like do anything in here, it's kind of awkward. So if I wanted to like reply to something, good luck with that, because and then it's the thing's gonna go away. It's yeah, not the greatest experience in the world when it's constantly just popping up and getting in your way, and then I can't close it because okay, well now it let me close it, but if I go to a different thing, then it yeah. And there's no way to like make it not automatically pop up, but then a lot of times you want it to automatically pop up. So I don't know. But let's quit out of that. Let me refocus the camera here. And then the other weird thing is that I mentioned this is KDE Neon. And of course, distro developers are free to package whatever they want. For some reason, as you can see here, they packaged both system settings, which is like the KDE desktop version, and then there's settings over here, which is like, I guess more of a mobile phone version. It's just called settings because that's what it does. There's like the terminal over here. This is like the mobile focused terminal, which we looked at before. Then up here is console, which is like the desktop terminal and stuff. There's Discover, which is actually works really well as a mobile application. So some of these apps are the same, but they've like made them mobile friendly without having to have two different versions of the app. Okay, sometimes it will do that when it doesn't load immediately. So you can see with Discover, like it's pretty good. It's not going to automatically pop up the keyboard when I don't need it to, and I can, you know, scroll around and do things, and there we go. And now look, there's a little install thing down here. Normally it would be like a little thing up here, and I can tap on that and it would install it, and it would work. So they can make apps that work in both desktop and mobile versions. So again, here's Dolphin, the KDE file manager app, and by default it works really well. So it has what you'd expect, single tap to open. So we've kind of seen those. Here's some screenshots I took accidentally. And it just works as a mobile app. It's really good. So I don't know why the KDE Neon guys decided to package multiple versions of the same app for... Why is everything so inconsistent? I don't know. And then in certain applications, so if I were to tap on this, you can see my search history is a little weird there. It doesn't automatically bring up the keyboard, so that's why I put this little tiny thing down in the corner that will bring the keyboard up anyway. So if I wanted to search for my channel, let's say at... Oh yeah, and sometimes it does that, where it's like glitching out down here. You can just ignore that. Frog. And then, oh, I want to do 8, 7... Oh, wait, what? 8, 7... well, those aren't numbers. Yeah, so that's kind of the problem here, is that sometimes when I want to type numbers, instead it just types the symbols as if I have caps. Shift? What if I hit shift? It still doesn't... Yeah, so... Like, I don't know. It doesn't put the numbers sometimes. And then I go into, like, LibreOffice, for example. And it's not just like, it's not like a Flatpak thing, because these are both Flatpak applications. I go into, like, LibreOffice Writer. Okay, I don't need that. Thank you. Well, LibreOffice Writer, I have this in dark mode. And as you can see, dark mode on dark mode does not really work for me well. But as you can see, the keyboard just opens when I tell it to. And if I want to type numbers, I can type numbers. That's good. So, yeah, I guess if you really want to be a KDE Mobile enthusiast, you should use LibreOffice because it seems to be better integrated into the ecosystem. So, yeah, app compatibility is going to be a problem. Sometimes you can type numbers, sometimes you can't. It's a little bit strange, but you know, sometimes that's just the way how it be, I guess. And that's okay. Ooh, I can zoom. That's pretty cool. So oftentimes, like, it's perfect, right? The keyboard, it appears, I get rid of it, I can do whatever I need to do, I can... Okay, well, it's not always so good. And then sometimes it keeps appearing when I don't need it to, and now there's nothing. Well, okay, I guess I don't have any extensions installed. So, I mean, I guess that's okay, because it's not interfering with this, but then what if I was trying to, like, read a whole bunch of stuff down here, and then... Yeah. Like, that is my only gripe with this keyboard, is that it just says, hello, when I don't need it to. And that's driving me crazy. But otherwise, it's excellent. And this whole interface is pretty good. There is a little bit of jank with it. So did I show that? Oh no, not in this version. So anyway, let's quit out of this. I don't need to save that. And then there's some other jank in here, like if I tap and hold this and say, oh, I want to change my wallpaper. Well, that tries to appear, and now everything's frozen, and we just crashed the desktop. That's what we just did. Trying to change your wallpaper. Just wait for it. Eventually, okay, there we go. Gonna go black. The crash handler's gonna come up. And then in the background, the plasma shell is rebooting, so it will recover. I'm just gonna send a report, and then that will appear, which is fun. Yeah, that little square likes to appear when I sometimes. So that little square sometimes likes to appear when I will change orientations, but it's not doing it now. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I have the capture display plugged in. So anyway, that's been sent. Has the desktop figured itself out now? Well, the keyboard has showed up. Okay, well there's the square, and now the keyboard has, I guess because I tapped in the text field. Well, there we go. And now the shell has rebooted, and I can just say goodbye. And now everything's fine. But so there's that. If I try to open it from the wrong settings app, this is the desktop version, where the keyboard likes to freak out. I go up here to wallpaper, So this isn't going to crash the whole shell. This is just going to crash the app there. So yeah, overall I think that KDE Mobile is really good. It has a lot of potential. It works really smoothly when it does work. As you saw, we're just flying through, you know, closing apps and switching between apps and going in and out of various modes and this and that and the other thing. But it's also kind of janky, as we also saw, with like the keyboard liking to freak out, and sometimes it says hello when you don't want it to, and sometimes it's wait, you wanted me? Oh, okay. No. So I think that's just a more kind of global Linux accessibility virtual keyboard weirdness thing, because back in the Linux on a tablet video, which was talking about, in that case, Ubuntu, which is sort of based on GNOME. Well, it's very based on GNOME, that version. There was similar problems where, like, in GTK apps, the GNOME keyboard worked really, really well. And then in anything that wasn't GTK, specifically, it was kind of eh. And the KDE mallet keyboard seems to work more consistently everywhere, but it's still a bit of a jank fest. But I mean, yeah, if you want a tablet-like experience, it works pretty well. I mean, there's copying and pasting things is a bit awkward, and sometimes you wish you had a physical keyboard, and so on and so forth, but overall, I'd say it's pretty good, so there's that. Alright, bye!